Well, hello, everybody, and I hope there's everybody out there. I've been thinking a long time about what might be a good platform for discussing some of the things that have come up over over the past several years as I've been involved in education and especially at the university level teaching in a doctoral program. A lot of the discussions that I have had in the classroom with my students have been regarding things that are going on in our society, in our culture, things that are particularly going on in schools, because all of my clientele were teachers or administrators in public education. Many times the conversation would come around to the discussion of some of the cultural, social issues that have been uh, in the news lately. Let's just say that we've heard a lot of it in the news and also in social media and just in discussions amongst our peers. My students would express their thoughts on a topic, and many times they really could not articulate a or present any evidence that led them to believe what they were saying is true. They just could not put together what I consider to be a credible bit of evidence that led them to their conclusions sometimes. Sometimes we buy into what we hear simply because it's, quote, in print or it's on the news or we hear it via social media. And how many times have you seen posts that have been forwarded by people and they turned out to be erroneous, false, I don't know, mistaken. But anyway, a lot of times when we would have these discussions in class, the students would not really be able to come up with a cogent answer, at least in my opinion, that proved to me that they had done their due diligence in following the information to see if it was true or good or not. At some time, our culture has really changed. And of course, cultures do evolve, societies do evolve, and that's to be expected because that's evolution, that's life, that's the way nations operate. We don't just stay the same all the time. And as a community, we have certainly evolved. We have our family nucleus that used to be very, very close, and our communities, neighborhoods that used to be very, very close. That's changed for most people. I know that my neighbors, some of whom I do not even know their names anymore, have moved in, have come in and taken the place of many of the older families, the older neighbors who have gone on and are no longer with us. And so we live in a different place. So I am hopeful that in this podcast we can discuss some of our societal issues, that we can discuss some of the things that maybe aggravate us a little bit, some of the things that we're pleased with, but all I'm hoping to do is to be able to come together and help us learn more about how to live in this informational age, how to be able to consume information in a healthful way, so that we're not just rolling over and taking for granted anybody's uh, ideas, assumptions, positions without having some sort of background. So this podcast is for that purpose. And hopefully we will have co-hosts. Hopefully we will have guests. Hopefully we will have some readings or articles that will help to feed our dialogue here. I do not know all the answers. I cannot say that for certain we will be able to come up with all the answers to our problems or all the a solution that will just be a panacea uh, um, that will help to solve our problems. But I'm hoping that it will enlighten us to have the discussions and talk about, how do we as individuals process information? How do we act on information that we feel needs to be challenged or that we feel needs to be promoted? How's that? So let's take a look at it as a learning process. And I hope you will join me here from time to time. I don't know how often this recording process will happen. I would hope that we'd be able to record at least once a week. Given I'm here again, I'm depending on having some help with this, so we'll see. But I hope that you will tune in and participate in your own way. Who knows? We might make it a live streaming show at some point, and we may. And I don't know what it's going to look like. But we're going to try because I feel we're at a juncture in our society right now where we need to have this discussion. We need to come to some conclusions as to how we can make ourselves better consumers of information, and make ourselves better when it comes to our citizenry, our sense of community, our sense of family. So join me here whenever you can. The name of the podcast thus far, I came up with a little piece of a name, and I called it Fact versus Friction. We have facts, and sometimes there is some friction regarding the factuality, the veracity, and so forth of, quote, facts. So given that title, I challenge you to be a part of it. Come join us, and I will look forward to seeing you in the near future. Thanks.